Hello, we're here to talk about overrated snacks at Walt Disney World. My name is Steve Porter, and I am here with Ryno Clavin.
Hello.
And to my left is Craig Williams.
Hello.
And so who wants to start? Should I start right off the top?
Yeah, why don't you start,
All
Steve?
right, my overrated snack is LeFou's Brew.
Oh, jeez.
LeFou.
I can
Louise.
never pronounce his name.
Good Lord.
Actually, my fiance Michaela got mad at me because I pronounced it wrong when I was talking about the movie. But anyways, I think it is just frozen apple juice, overrated, and it's just too sweet. And when you compare it to, it was essentially their response to butterbeer at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and it just doesn't compete. And so every time I have it, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So LeFou's Brew, not LeFlou's.
LeFlou's.
Just
That
so everyone's aware out there.
Out in
I'm sorry.
out in Disneyland, they have Gaston's Brew, is what they call it. Well, they have Red's Apple Freeze out
Yeah.
there, but they also have Gaston's Brew, and it's essentially the same thing, but it's not frozen. So it has the foam on top, and it's not frozen. And I was like, oh, so you're just selling
Applesauce.
yeah, $5 apple juice.
Apple juice.
Yeah, and of course, it literally is just frozen apple juice with the mango foam on top, which I've never really thought that they went together. I've tried it. I think the first time I went in New Fantasyland, and then I gave it a shot once or twice more, and it just it never really clicked with me like butterbeer did. I think it's time for Disney to kind of go back to the drawing room and maybe come up with something a little bit more creative than just frozen apple juice. But they seem to be pretty stuck on this one.
I will say it's not that I dislike the drink. It's not like, oh, this is a horrible. If someone bought it for me, I would still drink it. It's just it's
not-
just because it's apple. It's or not applesauce. I keep saying applesauce. Apple juice. It's just frozen apple juice.
Yeah.
So there's nothing special to it. Like when you go and you have a special Disney Parks treat, you expect it to be something that you can't get somewhere else. Like
Yeah. It's kind of like this isn't on our list, but when people say like, oh, there's nothing like getting ice cream at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, I understand that. Yeah, it's because of the place. There's a special fondness and a uniqueness about it, but it is just regular store-bought ice cream. It's not like anything special they made. I believe Edie's is still the provider of it. So the location you're having it in, yes, that is unique. But the ice cream, it really doesn't taste better. That is all in your imaginations.
Right,
so
I like the drink. I feel like I don't dislike it when it's really, really hot here. I like the drink.
Yeah, no,
but I understand.
I'm not saying that I dislike it either. I'm just saying it's just frozen apple juice. So
Well, I'll tell you what I don't like that everybody makes such a big deal out of is churros.
Ugh, you're horrible.
They don't do anything for me. I mean, in theory, they sound great. It tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but not because it's like a little fluffier. But they're like, the second I think about biting into one of those, it's like, I can imagine just coughing up cinnamon sugar it needs like a sauce or something. It's just not.
You're a crazy person.
On a hot day, it's not something I want.
No, they're so good.
I know no one's forcing you to eat it on a hot day.
Someone did force me to eat one on a hot day once, and there's a video of that on our YouTube channel.
That was not a hot day. That was March in California. And while I do agree that Walt Disney World churros do not taste that great, I always want them to, but they just don't. A Disneyland churro is always made perfectly. I don't know how they do it. It's probably because they sell so many a day, and that line is always incredibly long, so they need to always have the same exact good product for it. But Walt Disney World churros, they always come out overly dry and kind of burnt, and so when it's not cooked right and it's not made right, then all the cinnamon sugar falls off and it's just a mess, and it still tastes sweet, but it's not as good.
I'll disagree with both of you on this one. I like all the churros in all the places.
I don't know. There was a churro cart in downtown Disney when I was just at Disneyland, and I'm tempted to give them another shot because this one had flavors. It had there's like an Oreo one now, I guess, and there was like these other ones that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot again.
I had the Oreo one at California Adventure. It's pretty good.
I just think they're overrated. For me, it's not a go-to Disney snack.
Shame on you.
Well, Craig?
Well, I will bring up one that I think everyone will finally come and agree on that it is overrated, and that, of course, is the Disney turkey leg.
Yeah.
Because they are big, they're disgusting, they're salty.
Sounds like me.
Yes, it sounds exactly like Ryno. There's just nothing good about them, and I will, and I will say, I used to actually get these things a lot when I was growing up, and I would visit Walt Disney World when I couldn't have it often. It was one of those treats that it's like, oh, I've got to conquer the turkey leg on this trip. I've got to try to eat as much of it as possible, and that's one of my go-to food items. And that kind of shifted once we lived here, and then on top of that, working in a theme park, having to at the end of the day smell the combination of old beer and half-eaten turkey legs just roasting in the Florida sun in a trash can. You can't look at them. You can't touch them again. And so I do understand the appeal, because I used to be that person that wanted to come here and have the turkey leg. But now I just think they are an overrated way to make your heart stop a lot faster.
They're like a rite of passage. You know what I mean? It's like one of those, like you've got to have it. Like you go to Disney World, you've never been before.
Yes.
You know.
No, everyone should try a turkey leg once.
Yeah. However, for me, it's like biting into tendons. It's just so much like. There's too much of that texture of like the chewy part of it that, oh God, I'm going to freak myself out right now while I'm saying it. But it's that weird. And you think turkey leg, it's not like Thanksgiving turkey because it's prepared differently. So it's like what you said, it's salty, it's brined. It also has the highest calorie count of anything you can get at Walt Disney World. So it's like 2,000 calories for one of these. So when people are like, it's pure protein, I'm like, it's been brined for like 4 months, so I don't think so.
It's just all hype, I think, at this point. Like, so many people get it because they heard, oh, you got to get the turkey leg, and then when you actually try it,
I'm sure there's people who enjoy it though too. I don't want to put them down, but
yeah, I guess.
But you know,
but
no, it's like for me, I love the Disneyland Chimichangas. But
which I still haven't had.
I think I told Tom Bell the last time that I was out there that I got one, and he looked at me like I was eating manure or something. Like, I have no idea, but it's, I guess when
everyone has their preferences.
Everyone has a preference. Yeah,
good point.
So that's mine. Do we also have some that we also share hatred on as a group?
Let's talk about the ice cream.
The Mickey bar.
Yeah, the Mickey bar. If so, you go to an ice cream cart, and I understand another rite of passage. It looks great when you put it into like a silhouette, and it's the Mickey bar, and it looks great on a T-shirt and all this stuff. But why would you pick a Mickey bar over the Mickey ice cream sandwich? It is handheld. It is cookies and cream in there, and it also, when you bite it, it stays together. When you bite a Mickey bar, the second you bite that ear, it cracks apart. Yeah. There's definitely chocolate that's going to come off and get on your hand, maybe your clothes. I don't want to deal with that mess.
I was just about to say, every time I bite into it, like, at least a chunk of it falls on my shirt immediately.
Yeah. Like, there's no way around it.
I'm pro ice cream sandwich. So
yeah, I think we're all ice cream sandwich here.
I will, if the choice came down to it, and I had the choice of like the Mickey bar or one of the awful, like, it's a fruit bar and they put Olaf on the package, I would probably choose the Mickey bar. But yeah, that is overrated compared to the highly underrated Mickey ice cream sandwich, which is just perfection.
You don't hear about it ever, but it's just good, and you can hold it in the wrapper. It also looks great in photos.
It does.
What's not to like?
It also doesn't melt, I feel like, as quickly as the regular ice cream bar does. I don't know.
No, and sometimes you'll like luck out and you'll get the ones that are like just a brick.
Yeah.
And you almost break your teeth off when you're having them, but you're like, you know what? This isn't going to melt.
When we were cast members, and we would, like, so many days in a row in safety, they would reward you with ice cream, and they'd bring it in there, and everyone like, oh, the Mickey bars, the Mickey bars. I'm like, where are the ice cream sandwiches? And there would be a lot of those left over, and home they went with me. So, and the reason why I gained so much weight. So, fun fact.
Awkward.
Well, one more treat that I think this is like the ultimate overrated thing. Not overrated because of how beautiful they are. Because they are beautiful.
No,
they're
they
really well
look
made.
Great. Yeah.
But they're just a mess in general as a dessert, and that is the candy apples and the caramel apples that are designed at Disney and sold at all of the bakeries and stuff. They're beautiful when they're sitting on the shelf, But
Works
then,
of art, I would even say.
Yeah. At first, you have to have them cut it. Because if you try to say, like, oh, I'm going to go out and eat it on my own, it's never going to happen. You're not going to get through it. They have to cut it in the back for you. So right there, it's like, oh, I bought this beautiful masterpiece, and I don't even get to enjoy it because it's cut apart within seconds of purchasing it. And then it's usually all the ingredients are put on so they all just start falling apart once it's completely cut.
The second you break the solidity of the apple.
And on top of that, all the toppings and stuff on there, because they had to harden up and come together to make sure that the character or whatever the design on it looks the best it is, it all tastes stale and old.
Like the marshmallows are always like hard, or
The pretzels are always never that crispy. Like, it sounds great. Like, oh, there's chocolate covered pretzels in here, or whatever, and you're like, oh no,
it's like deflated pretzels.
It's like cardboard pretzel.
Yeah,
It is.
But it also, the ratio is never correct to the amount of apple versus the thing you're getting. Like, you can't ever get that perfect bite. And don't get me wrong, this is like, Eli makes me get him the classic candy apple every time I go to any Disney park. That's what I have to bring home with me. But it's just like, I want the other ones to be so good because they look so good.
Yeah, it's definitely a fake out because they are like masterpieces in how they look and how they're decorated and all that stuff. But yeah, they're
$10. So then it's not only that, but it's like, okay, well, I bought this really expensive thing, and then it doesn't even taste good.
It's crazy because in Disneyland they have, like, I don't know if it's every month or every week, they have a new type of candy app. Like, that's one of their things out there, is that they have the special and it's there until it's gone. And I'm just like, it looks cool. Can I take a picture? Like, that's it. I don't know.
I just need a good bench and a good Dole Whip, and I'm set. That's all I want.
Dole Whips are good. They're not overrated.
They're not.
Are they?
They're not.
Really? Oh, are you gonna go there?
No.
They're not, and I'll explain. I'll explain quickly why they're not overrated, because they're not made with dairy.
Oh,
the calorie count is not that high, and everything.
You just made me feel better about eating them.
Everything is always better with pineapples.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Well,
I do
also
agree.
they're not $10. They're not like how the apples.
They
are
won't
$10.
break the bank.
Yeah, they're, what is it, like $3 or $4? I don't even know. But so is that it? Is that everyone's?
Yeah,
I think so.
Those are the overrated ones.
Yeah, those are our overrated snacks for Walt Disney World. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video.